welcome to the latest instalment of the Global Mental Health Peer Network Speak Out podcast. I'm Karli Montague-Cardoso from the UK, and I'm the current chair of the European region of the network, and I'll be hosting today's session. This episode will focus on the mind and body, especially in the context of mental health. And I'm joined today by fellow GMHPN network member, Roni Ovadia, who is based in Israel, and we're going to be talking today about what it means to us to consider the mind and body as one. So I think we all have a different perspective about how our minds and bodies interact, but I think we can all agree that they do indeed interact in some way. And we can all think of times, whether they're one-off times or ongoing battles, in which our physical health has had an impact on our mental health and vice versa. And we've all had different experiences. We all have different thresholds for what we consider to be problematic for us or healing for us. And we also vary in terms of what we listen to first. Some of us follow the signs that our bodies give us. Some of us are more in tune with what our thoughts and emotions are doing. Some of us listen to both, and some of us listen to neither. And I would say I listen to neither because I'm not very good at it. So it's particularly interesting for me today to speak with you, Roni, because I know that you're very much in tune with how your mind and body are connected. And we've spoken about this in our prior discussions.
Yeah.
So this kind of leads me on to my first question to you today. Based on your experiences, how do you view, for you, the connection between the body and the mind, especially when it comes to mental health?
Wow. So hi to everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Roni. I'm 37 years old from Israel. And I think that the biggest turning point for me came when can you repeat the question 1 second? Sorry.
Sure. So for you, what would you say, in your experience, when did you find out just how much your mind and body were interacting and the impact on your mental health?
Okay, so I'm trying to put it all together. What happened to me that is like more than a decade ago, I had a very big car accident, and I've been through, I was like, in 1 second, like overnight, I became 100% dependent in a wheelchair and moved back into my parents' house, and I couldn't move. And at first I thought it's only an injury and it will be okay. But over time, my mental health started to decline, mostly because of stress. I took a lot of medications in this time, but mostly I think it's because that I trying to continue in my life as usual without even realize that I needed to adjust to the new reality. Since then, I felt a lot of shiftings, like between physical pain and emotional pain. I went through a depression and felt like over time also post-traumatic issues. And when I started, after a few years, when I started to feel that I want to feel better, like even to think that I can feel better, it was like something that I couldn't think about because I sometimes was depressed, sometimes was in pain. During the whole time, I've been through a lot of stomach aches and migraines, and like it felt like in every moment there's something that takes me down. And after a few years in this feeling, and when I realized that something needs to change, I thought about maybe to to make my body a bit stronger. So I thought about the most easiest um, thing that I can think of. And I thought about yoga. I thought that I can start to make my body a bit stronger, but without a lot of effort. So I did that. And in the meantime, the corona has started. And suddenly, when I found the yoga, it stopped because there was no studios that were open, as you all know. And I started to do yoga every day, like in YouTube and with the online option. And it felt very, very good. And I didn't even just felt the physical strength, but I realized that it's easier for me to wake up in the morning. It's easier for me to go to sleep in the night and to actually sleep in the night. After practice, I felt hungry, which I almost didn't felt this feeling. I know what most of the people will think about it, but when someone is not eating and doesn't have the good feeling from eating food, it's very hard for the body to feel better, to heal, because now I know that that I'm never gonna use bad gas for my car, but I know that I used to put malnutrition to my body. And I started to see, like, I feel that the yoga, and also in the meantime, I understood that the medicine that I get in are very, very powerful for me. And I started to lower them down. So it was the yoga, it was the changing of the medicine to like more natural things. And also I found a book that explained me amazingly that to be sensitive in this world is not about being weak, is about to be sensitive. And it's something that in this modern world that I live in anyway, I guess that people can understand what I'm talking about. But sensitivity can be look like a weakness. But when I understood how this sensitivity can be my strength, something started to change. And it was like, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but there's a lot of things, because it's been for me a combination of things to start to feel better. I also found a group that I started to volunteer with from bed, even when I was like still a bit weak, a bit unfaithful in myself. I still had this chance to do something for other people, and to get like messages and calls like that told me, wow, Roni, thank you. You saved my life. You changed my life. And I was in bed, depressed. And to hear this kind of things, it made me feel like, oh, I can do something for someone else, even if it's not for me. And in the meantime, I understood that I can help myself too, not only for other people. Was long, long answer.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things have to come together in order for your mental health to turn around. And I'm really sorry for the accident that you've had, but I'm also really pleased to hear that you've come through it and you've taken positives from it as well.
Yeah,
And
thank
it's
you.
just picking up on something you say, you wouldn't put bad fuel in a car. Um, and even when we're aware of what we should or shouldn't be eating in terms of, what's nutritious, sometimes we still
Mm-hmm.
have really bad habits. And we can see that direct correlation between when we put rubbish in our body, we feel rubbish both mentally and physically. But we
True,
still do it. So
true.
for someone to be able to turn that around, and it sounds like, as you said, even from bed, you were able to do that. So I think that is really admirable. Um,
Thank
we
you.
all know this interaction between mind and body, and I think the appreciation of that has definitely changed over time. It varies between different cultures and communities, and even different professions. I think for me, there tends to be, certainly in the UK where I'm based, there's a real disconnect between mental health care and physical health care. It always seems to be separate. The two never go hand in hand as standard unless the person really pushes to make those two parallel journeys. There's many mental health support services in the UK for people experiencing serious chronic illnesses, such as cancer, for instance. And I know from experiences within my family, those mental health services are offered and flagged up as soon as you receive a diagnosis, or at least they were 20
Mm.
years ago. And I assume it's still the same today. But nonetheless, they're still really separate. And if you think about it, when you go to a hospital for treatment, you can
Mm-hmm.
really easily be moved between different departments if you say you need a blood test, then a scan, and say a biopsy. But if you need mental health support, that's not going to come on the same day. That's usually something you have to seek out, or you get a separate referral. And in many ways, I get it, I understand it, because it's a very different set of skills to understand someone's mind compared to their body. And you
Mm.
certainly can't have someone who doesn't know what they're doing dealing with either. But that gap is so big that I feel that the appreciation of mental health care and physical health care is really misaligned. So just bringing it back to your experience when you got injured, what challenges did you face when you realized your physical and mental health were having an impact on each other and you were trying to get help for that?
Wow, it throws me back to so many examples, and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to talk about, because when we talked, I didn't remember it in this one, but I'll try to do it anyway. Um, it was after like 4 years after my car accident. I was after I left all the tools that helped me, the wheelchair, the sticks, and I looked from the outside like I'm okay. Nothing is wrong with me. But from the inside, I felt so much pain. I've been unfaithful in my capabilities. And in Israel, I went to a clinic that's supposed to practice pain and to help people with that feeling a lot of pain. And I went there and they told me, okay, it looks like you suffering. We can start your treatment. And they booked my how do you say that? My appointment in 4 months from the day that I came. What they told me, actually, it's okay, you are suffering, we can see it. Come in 4 months, we will try to help you. And for me, it was like, it broke me. And I went from there crying and very angry. And I thought, okay, I need to go to mental health clinic now. With thing that I feel, with these things that I'm feeling now, I need to go to the mental health clinic. And I tried. and I was in the hospital, and I came to the secretary, and she told me, okay, but I can't help you. If you want, you can go to the emergency room. And I already knew that in the emergency room, they wouldn't be able to help me. So it was like, okay, it was the first time that I tried to get help. And the, you know, what's the word? I'm looking for it. The practitioners told me, okay, you deserve it, but come in a long time ago, a lot of time from now. So it's been very devastating, and but I can understand, because now in Israel, I think that it can be in a lot of people more, but I'm speaking from my own point of view. They have a lot in the medical world. They have a lot of fields. Just for example, when I was only with my orthopedic issues, I went to an orthoped that is especially specialist for the ankle. And also I waited for this appointment something like 2 months, and then I came to him, and he checked. While he's checking my ankle, I told him, listen, I feel also pains in the last couple of weeks, also pain in my knee. And he stopped the treatment, he looked at me, raised his hands, and he told me, but I'm an ankle specialist. And I was in shock, because I told him, but it's connected. It's the same. They have the same bone that connects them. I understood that he wanted to do a surgery, but it didn't fit, so I didn't came to him. Never. But I can tell you that in the last month, I changed, like, we call it in Israel kupa, okay? But I don't know if there's things like this overseas, so I'll call it my health insurance, okay? I changed my health insurance, and in Israel we have also clinics that connects to every health insurance, every company, and I changed, and in the last month I figured out that my family doctor, it's the same pronouns also overseas, right? Family doctor?
Yeah, family doctor.
Yeah. Okay. So my family doctor and my psychiatrist are sitting one next to each other in the same clinic, and it felt like the future, like how it should be. They have connection between them. They can talk. I can ask something my psychiatrist, and then to ask my my family doctor, and it felt so natural. It felt like, okay, I can get whatever I need now in my life, at least, in the same place. And it was very it gave me a lot of hope, because I always think that there's a lot of changes that we need to do in the system, and it was very hopeful, made me a lot of hopeful to see that it happens.
Well, yeah, it's that's the dream, isn't it? If you need more than
Yeah.
one doctor or one therapist, that you actually see them at the same time. I don't think I know anyone else, certainly not in the UK.
And one more thing,
Yeah.
the clinic is 200 meters away from my house.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, It's crazy. It's I mean, waiting lists for both physical and mental health, we know they're bad everywhere, but it's shockingly bad for mental health. You know, in the UK, if you are experiencing, for instance, suicidal ideation, you can still be put on a waiting list that is maybe 6 to 9 months. You know,
Mm,
when we're talking about things like this is a threat to life in the same way that you know, cancer or heart disease is a threat to life.
true.
And so it should be treated as such, and it's just not. So to hear that, you know, in some parts of the world, and you know, using the insurance that you have, and the plan that you have, that you can get mental health and physical health around the same table, that is the progress that we hope for. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, it's not just challenges within healthcare. There's also challenges within communities and within individuals. So for me, for instance, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that will listen that will relate to this, my biggest challenge when trying to adopt a lifestyle change is that commitment. I know what I need to do, or I know what I should try because it's likely going to help. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't do it, especially when it comes to exercise. I don't exercise. I have to admit it. I don't exercise as much as I want to, as much as I know it would be beneficial. I really struggle to integrate habits into my life in the long term. Although I would say specifically, I struggle with good habits. I'm very good at integrating bad habits into my life. So for me,
Yeah, I
I would
understand.
love to be able to switch my thinking and adopt a habit that's actually good for me. So, you know, I know we've discussed before, you now help a lot of people, and you mentioned before that just knowing that you help people is
Mm-hmm.
empowering for you and it gives you some hope. So, in light of your experience and kind of the people you come across and also the benefits that you felt from yoga, what advice would you give to people like me who we want to try it, we know we should try it, but we just never get round to it? What kind of advice would you give?
Wow, such a good question. Wow. What I want to say is that trying to try to figure out where your heart is, because when I started to do yoga, to practice yoga, it felt like my heart expanded. And when someone told me, "Thank you, Roni, you changed my life in 180 degrees, and now I can start to take care of myself," it gave me from the inside a feeling that I'm powerful, that I do good, that this is my place. And yoga also connected me to the language that my body speaks, because we know when we communicate, the words are just small part from the message, and the body language and the tone and mimics of the face are so relevant to the message. And basically, we have a language that our body speaks to us, but in the modern time that we live in, we're a bit distinct from it, or we don't know this kind of language. And that's what I'm doing with people in yoga. I'm trying to understand with them, not just practice physically yoga, but also we are talking and we're trying to figure out where is their heart is, where their body reacts in good vibes from the inside. It can be in good feelings. It can be in like physically, the hands, the body can connect. I forgot, and one word that is very very, very important to me to remember. One second. Maybe I can take the neurons. Our neurons, our body, our physical body, uh, um, throws like not feelings, sensations. This is the word. It talks with us through sensations. And the thing is that if my yoga is help me, it doesn't mean that it's supposed to help everybody. But what I suggest is to start to pay attention to the things that makes us feel very, very good. And like the way that that took me into depression and to a black hole, the same thing was to get out of it. It was like one thing and then another thing and then another thing. It can be very small in the first times, but if you stick to the things that makes you feel good, in my experience at least, and the experience that I feel with the people that that coming with me in this journey, it's also the same way to start in small measures of feeling good and do the things that makes you feel good, and in the time it comes like better and better and better. And in the start it's very hard, but it's like that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now and talking to you about it, because I want that people to understand that it can happen, that in the same way that we went down, I call it like my black part of my soul, the way that I got there, it's the same way that I took myself out. It's just like you need just one small thing and to stick with it.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's finding what works for you and finding something that fills you with that joy or that passion that you are going to keep up in the long term. And maybe I'll find it one day. Until then, I'll be do as I say, not as I do. But I definitely think it's about finding what works, for sure,
Yeah.
little steps at a time. But thank you, Roni, so
I
much.
just want to add one more thing. It
Yeah.
takes me to the last part of the third part of what I'm like thinking, that sometimes we need to be faithful. We need to be connected to like bigger ideas than ourselves. It's like to feel that I can feel better, and the way will be bright to me in X amount of time. And in these days when I break down, because I am breaking down sometimes, this is what I'm thinking about. Even much before I'm starting to practice yoga, I'm telling to myself, no matter what you feel now, it's temporary and it will change very shortly.
Yeah, it's
So this is
about that perspective, isn't it? However you find that perspective, whether it's religious, spiritual, just the bigger picture, it's kind of, yeah, just finding where you fit in. But yeah, thank you so much, Roni, for
You're
sharing
welcome.
your experiences today. As I mentioned at the beginning, everyone will have their own experiences, and we vary in terms of how in tune we are with our mind and our body, but we know they're connected. So I think listening to the experience of others as we have today can maybe help to give us some ideas or set us on a new path. And I think exploring our options doesn't mean we will adopt everything long term and it will all be a success. I also see success in this respect as identifying what doesn't work for us, and we can tick that off the list. But it is about trying. But yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate the way that you have shared with us today, and I hope you continue to heal and get the benefits that you've been getting from yoga and from helping others. And it's been really nice to speak with you today, and hopefully it's been useful for everyone listening as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Karli. It was a pleasure.